Merry Christmas, guys, and welcome to the inside of my shed. So this week's episode is going to be about securing my shed. And the problem is that this Z-Wave door sensor is not strong enough to reach to my house, which is about 25-30 feet away. So what I'm going to try, don't know if it's going to work, I'm going to try to install a Z-Wave light switch here to act as a repeater so that this will connect through the light switch and hopefully to my house. All right, so let's get started. Welcome back, guys. So the first thing I want to discuss before we get started is safety. Now, you need to be comfortable with working inside of a box. However, you need to absolutely make sure that you have disconnected the power to whatever it is that you're working on. In this case, it's a light switch. And I have indeed disconnected power to this light switch, and I know that there's no power in this box. Okay, so let's go ahead and start, and we're going to remove this switch and install this Z-Wave switch in its place. Now, I'm not going to have a cover for it, because I've learned from Joe Telling, the 3D printing nerd, that you really don't need a cover. It's just an accessory. So, but in all kidding aside, we're not going to put a cover on it because I need to make sure that this will work. And this frame is wide enough where it's going to pretty much block out any access inside the box when the switch is installed. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this cover off and see what we've got to work with inside. Now, I know that I have a neutral inside this box just from the outside because I've got two wires going inside the box, which tells me I definitely have a neutral inside for a switch. And I can see in there, yep, we definitely have a neutral. So let me go ahead and unscrew this switch. All right, let's pull out these wires and see what we got. Okay, we got a pretty full box here. So what we'll do is go ahead and disconnect these. Now we need a neutral. These switches need a neutral in order to work. And we're gonna grab that from right here. So I'll need a pigtail to pigtail off of this set of neutrals right here. So let me go ahead and get that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so a quick trick in order to remove the wires from this little pigtail cutoff is to grab the ground and hopefully just pull down like this, and that should cut the Romex cable, and you'll be able to get easy access to the wires that you need. So while taking these wires out, I noticed that there are nicks, two nicks in these two wires. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now, while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and tape these over. The actual wire itself, as you can see, is not nicked. It's just the jacket that appears to have been nicked. All right, so let me go ahead and do that now and make this just a little safer down the road. Okay, so now that they are a little better protected, we can go ahead and move on with installing the switch. So the next thing I'm going to do is remove this switch. Well, actually, I think the next thing I'm going to do is put this wire nut back on. All right, so you always want to make sure you've got the wire nuts really tight. Now, of course, I don't have my lineman's with me, so kind of brute forced it. But typically you want to twist up all the wires together like this. Keeps them more stable, less likely to loosen up and create friction, which will create heat and, of course, start melting the wire nut and wire. So I think the next thing we'll go ahead and remove this switch. Okay, so we've got these spliced back and our fresh wire there for our new Z-Wave switch, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply a pigtail to this for our neutral to power up the Z-Wave switch. Now you'll notice that this gauge wire is a lot lighter than this, and the reason for that is because this neutral is only going to be powering this Z-Wave switch. It does not carry a load, so it doesn't need to be as heavy. Okay, so the real task here is going to be, how in the world are we going to get all these wires back in this box with the Z-Wave switch included? So let's try and get at that right now. All right, let's see if we stand a chance here. We might have to do a whole lot more finagling here. Let's see. It's gonna be pretty tight, but let's see if we can make this happen. Okay, so this wire right here, this black wire right here, is our load. So we need to put this black wire in the load slot here on the switch. And I know that this one is our line. So this one will go right underneath, right here where it says line. All right, that's good. Let's make sure this one's good. All right, let's move to the neutral, which is going to be on this side where it says neutral. Okay, and then from here we have the ground, which is right here. There we go. Okay, so here is the moment of truth, whether or not I can fit the switch in with all of those wires. So let's see. Okay, switch is installed, and again, we're not going to put a cover on it because hey, this is kind of a test to see if this will work. And this is a small part of a bigger goal, in that we're going to try to secure this shed. And in order to do that, I need to be able to get the signals from the house to the shed. And this door switch is going to play a pretty big part in that. So yeah, so let me go ahead and turn the power back on and see if we get fireworks or if we get this thing to light that switch, that light bulb back up. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so now we've got power restored to the switch. Let's see if the switch actually works. All right, let's try it. Yeah, all right, it works. All right, that's perfect. So again, this is a small part of a bigger project, an attempt to secure this shed. And in order to do that, again, I need to have a stronger Z-Wave signal in this shed. I'm really hoping that this will do the trick so that we can get a good, consistent communication link between this door switch and the main system. So that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you follow along for the next step in this home automation security project. A big thumbs up to my camera girl. She came out to brave the 50-degree weather here in Maryland. So with that, you guys have a Merry Christmas again. And until next time, take care.